I had a lot of money. I genuinely don't give a shit. I'm a director of engineering at Apple. I don't give a shit.
We are back, taking a break from final studying for a crazy 1-2 session. There's a guy here who you will see, quote unquote, does not give a bleep about money.
There's gonna be a 3-way all-in coming up and 9 highs involved.
Somehow, let's get into the action.
Let's go.
God, it is good to be back. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being patient. Let's play some cards. This hand, Jello, not here today, but wants to say hello with his twin. We wake up with 2 Jellos in the cutoff. There's an under the gun limp, a hijack limp. That will not do. I bump it up to $20 and only the hijack calls. We're going to a flop. Welcome back to poker. It's Queen, Queen, Jack with 2 spades. Our opponent checks, and I elect not to c-bet here. Let him catch up a little bit, maybe bluff. And we're off to a turn, which is pretty damn good too. It's the Jack, the 4th one in the deck. We hit quads. I missed poker. This is awesome. Unfortunately, our opponent checks. I decided to check again. It's tough to get value with these hands that are this strong. The river is the 6 of spades. It's the 3rd spade. Maybe he's got a flush. He checks again. And no, I will not be checking again. I make it $20 and he folds. Fun hand to make, tough to get value from, but we start off strong.
Quads already? This is going to be a great episode. I look down at ace jack of clubs in middle position. Under the gun and under the gun +1 have already limped, and I raised to $20. People are trying to get involved with me. We see low jack, hijack, cutoff, button, small blind, under the gun, and under the gun +1 make the call for 20. Rosie in the big blind is the only one to show any type of respect. We're going 8 ways to a flop, which comes 8 queen queen. Checks to me. I would love the money in the middle, but I'm never betting here with ace high. I check, and we see the other 4 players check as well. The free turn card for everyone but Rosie is the 3 of clubs. Okay, now that we got the flush draw and everyone has checked to me again, I bet $40. Low jack really wants to play with us, but he smiles and folds. I start to grin when hijack folds and start to smile when cutoff and button fold, and start to celebrate when small blind under the gun and under the gun +1 fold. Let's go.
I almost want to show it.
Next hand for me is the old King 8 offsuit, the Rosie special, my classic strong hand. We're in the button, folds to me. I open it up to $6. Let's make use of our positional advantage in this configuration. And the big blind calls, so we are going heads up to a flop of King Jack 3 Rainbow. He checks, and I actually elect not to c-bet in situations like this where I have a marginal made hand. It opens the door for him to bluff, and I don't know there's much that I can get called from on this flop where I'm going to be happy about continuing through 2 more streets. We go off to a turn, which is the ace of diamonds, the 2nd diamond on board, and the big blind does take the betting lead and makes it $10. Not going to go anywhere just yet. I make the call. The river is not good. It's the queen of diamonds, puts the 4-liner on there and completes the backdoor flush draw. He bets 25, and I think now we can let this one go, which I do that. And he shows 4-7 of diamonds, which means we were good to check on the flop. It opened the door for him to bluff on the turn, which he did. We called when we were ahead and folded when we became behind.
Next hand, it folds to me in the hijack. I've got pocket 10s. I open for $15, and we see calls from the small blind and big blind. Money spot for us. Things get even better when the flop comes King Jack 10 Rainbow. We flop bottom set, checks to me, and I bet $20. Small blind folds and the big blind calls. The turn is the 5 of spades, bringing in the flush draw. We only lose to straights right now and maybe slow played pocket jacks. I size up for $100 on the turn, trying to get stacks in, and the big blind takes about 30 seconds before deciding to call. Here comes the river, the 4 of spades. If you thought this hand couldn't get any more juicy, the big blind jams it all in for $306. As stacks are sliding into the middle, I'm starting to think about what beats me and what I would do with my entire range in this spot. 10s seem just too good to not call here. If I'm beat, then that's just poker. I call, and the big blind shows King Queen with the Queen of Spades. I absolutely love this bluff from the big blind player. He just ran into it this time. What a hand.
This hand's a pretty one. It's Queen Jack of Diamonds on the button. A great hand, a great spot. Under the gun has straddled to $5. The cutoff has min clicked it to 10. I make the call. Big blind calls. Under the gun will have none of this and makes it $40. The cutoff folds, and I don't really like this spot here. I have position, but there's often times where we're going to be crushed here. So I do make the fold, and the big blind calls. What ends up happening is the flop came jack high. We would have flopped top pair. They end up getting it all in, and the 3-better had pocket queens. So we saved ourselves a lot of money because we would have had trouble getting away from our top pair there.
After a full double up, we're playing this hand only a few real-time minutes later. I'm on the button with ace-10 offsuit facing 2 limps. I bump it up to $20, and the under the gun and the hijack limper make the call. These guys have super wide ranges, and I'm happy to see a flop with them in position. That flop comes king, queen, 2 rainbow, and it checks to me. We've got a gut shot straight draw, 1 overcard, and the range advantage, so I c-bet for $30. Worst case scenario happens though, we get raised. It's the under the gun player who jams his short stack in for $80. I didn't know he was this short stack. Pot is $170 and I have to call 50 more to see the last 2 cards. Math time. We're behind, but we're getting 3-1 and only need to hit a pair or a straight 20% of the time to make this plus EV. I call.
Math has been done. Here we go.
Alright, let's see.
If you guys bet $30 on the flop like I did, would you have folded to his raise? Comment below, I want to know.
Here's an interesting one for you guys. We've got a homie, an absolute beast, a fan of the channel, open it up to $20 under the gun. This was an abnormally large sizing for this game. Folds to me on the button. We've got ace-jack offsuit. I think his range is going to have us crushed a lot of the time, dominated, bad reverse implied odds, but we have the button, we have ace-jack offsuit, which is a good hand. I do make the call. Let me know what you guys think about this call. Nevertheless, the big blind doesn't care at all about what I just said. He makes it $100. Under the gun folds, and we end up obviously folding as well. The big blind shows ace-king offsuit, and the fan shows jiggities. So let me know what you guys think about this one. A short hand, but a lot to talk about.
Good folds, Rosie. I like down at pocket 9s in middle position, under the gun +1 calls. This is Harish, the money man. He'll never fold if I raise, so I decide to just limp this strong hand and treat it as a set mine. Hijack limps, and then the button raises to 15. Small blind calls, Harish calls, and ladies and gentlemen, allow me to pause right here and talk to myself from the future. Frankie bro, put in a back raise here. That $15 from the button is super weak. Let's make it 100 here and take down this dead money. Okay, play the video. I call the 15, I just call, and so does the hijack. The flop comes 6, 7, 8, 2 diamonds. We have an overpair, a straight draw, and a backdoor straight flush draw. I cannot have this flop check through, so I lead out here for $60 into $75. This big bet should get a lot of respect. The hijack folds. The button, though, makes the call. Small blind folds, and Harish makes the call as well. Super important turn card coming in a big pot. The dealer puts out the ace of spades. Pot's huge. Harish checks to me, and I'm hating my life here. I check. The button grabs a black chip and some of his smaller soldiers for a bet of $140 to Harish, who snap rips it all in. Facing a $385 bet, well, my face says it all. I fold, and it sucks. The vlog gets to see a call, and the river would have given us a straight, the 5 of diamonds. Do they have a flush? Nope, they both show ace-10 offsuit and chop up my dead money. These guys both called with a gut shot and then both being top pair, such as poker. At least you guys got to see the run out and it only cost me $80.
Frankie, you bet when you were ahead, you folded when you were behind. I respect it. We got pocket 10s here, under the gun +1. There's a limp. I make it $20. We see the fan in the cutoff call, the button calls as well. We're going 3 ways to a flop of ace, ace, 8 with 2 diamonds. I decide not to c-bet here. I check, and it checks around. The turn is an offsuit 3. I feel pretty good about the strength of my hand given the action so far. I make it $25, but both of them make the call. Proceeding with caution as we head to a river, which is an offsuit 9. It shouldn't change much. I check, ready to call a reasonable sized bet if we need to, but it checks around. I show, expecting to be good, and we are. The fan in the cutoff, the homie had king X. We don't know what the button had, and we take this one down.
Rosie's about to have a huge hand after this against the same player as this one. Loose player in early position opens for 10. Harish to my right calls, and I've got ace queen offsuit. Definitely going to put in a 3-bet for value. I make it $65 to go, and they both make the call. I raise to 65 so it'll be easy to jam the flop with 2 short-ish stacks. Cutoff has 170 and Harish has 220, about the size of the pot. All we need to do is flop a pair, and we're so good to double up. Flop comes 8, 4, 7, 2 hearts. They both check to me, and I check it back, hoping to hit a pair or flush draw on the turn. Oh wait, no, that's what I should have done. My dumbass ships it. This dude is legit on his phone, looking so uninterested in his hand. I think I got baited because he snap calls me. This is a horrible jam looking back, and to make things worse, Harish sticks in the money as well. Let's go to a run out and hope we can be saved by the poker gods. Pause. Okay, now we have a nut flush draw. Probably gonna need some help with all the straights out there. Board runs out a straight. We're saved, boys.
That's straight. 9 high straight.
I didn't expect to win if someone called, but damn, we could have got that in as a big favorite if early position player folded. He's got 3 9 of spades. My jam was definitely a mistake, I'll admit that, but 9-3 both pre-flop and post-flop are atrocious calls. I love playing with these type of players, and well, who couldn't like this action at this table? Just don't bluff them with ace high like an idiot.
I have a lot of money. I'm a director of engineering at Apple. I don't care.
Frank the Bank, I respect you for trying it, man. I'm gonna get you some vengeance here. I hope. This is the main hand of the night for me. And a little bit of a story before we get into it. I told myself my hard stop for the night was midnight. Still was in the midst of finals, had some studying to do, so I made a responsible cutoff. This hand happens at 11:57 p.m. We got Jack 9 of diamonds in the big blind. Under the gun straddles to 5. +1 has made a blind bet of $15, and 4 people have called. How's this for a weird setup? I think this, looking back on it, could be a good squeeze spot. I didn't with Jack 9. I just wanted to call with my suited hand, and under the gun calls as well. So we're going 7 ways to a flop, which comes ace king 7 with 2 diamonds. We flop the second nut flush draw, checks to under the gun +1, the blind guy, who bets $25, and it folds all the way back to me. This is a tiny bet. We'll take our pot odds to the bank here. I make the call, and he immediately makes a comment that I haven't played a hand all night. So maybe he's a little bit scared of me. This table talk, maybe we can use it. The turn, however, is pretty chill. It's the 3 of diamonds. We pick up our flush right away. I check, and he bets 25 again. This is a tiny bet. This leads me to believe that either A, he's not really much of a thinking player, B, he's not very confident in the strength of his hand. I don't want to scare him off, but it's definitely time to raise here. So I make it $75, and he makes the call. The river is not super fun. It's the 8 of diamonds, putting the 4th diamond on there. We now lose to any queen of diamonds. However, I don't think we can be scared of that whatsoever. There's still value to be had. He's shown weakness. So I bet tiny, trying to squeak value of an ace-x, a 2-pair type of hand that's going to hate this run out. I make it $60. And he snap jams for $185. Excuse me? Did not expect that to happen. This is not good. I had seen him do this, shockingly enough, about 30 minutes ago. Raise the river with the nut flush on a 4-suit board. Like, I swear to God, it happened 30 minutes ago. Same situation. So that thought's running through my head. But I have such a strong hand. He's played the hand very weirdly, and I don't think we can fold for the price we're getting. I make the call. He shows ace king with no diamond. We take it down versus 2-pair, and the session is saved. Don't worry, I didn't hit and run. I did stay past my midnight stop time, but this was a great way to wrap up the session.
Into the game for 5, out for 835 for a $335 win for the boy. Took a break from finals to come play. It was worth it, and now look at this.
The ultimate run good, getting to in and out as it closes, and them taking my order. All around good day.
What's up, guys? I should have recorded this before I started driving, but in for 400, out for 547, profit of 147, even with that awkward ace queen hand. Very card dead, but happy to bring home a profit 3 sessions in a row, baby.